It's time for The Pet Show with America's favorite pet expert, Warren Eckstein. Warren is the author of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want and How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. He's here to answer all your pet and animal questions. And now, Warren Eckstein.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to The Pet Show. Is your basset hound a bit too bossy? Are your calicos acting a little cunning? Does your dachshund have you down for the count? Well, if you love animals, I'm assuming you do, you're listening to The Pet Show, care about wildlife and the environment, and really want to learn how to understand your dogs and cats as well as they understand you. If you're confused about your dog or cat's behavior or just want to improve their life, you know what to do. Stay tuned because once again, right here, right now, it is time for The Pet Show. America's first, that's right, America's first and only real pet psychology, training, behavior, and of course, pet lifestyle show. So hop up on my couch. Bring that furry little buddy with you, and once again, let the animal analyzing begin right now. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never a doubt about it, love, adore, and as I stress every single week, respect pets and animals as much as you do. By the way, if you'd like to join me on the ever-growing Pet Show family, if you want to find out why your dog or cat is behaving a certain way, likes your wife more than he likes you, likes your grandmother more than he likes you, your dog is jumping on everyone, humping everything he sees, your cat's not using a litter box, peed on your bed, scratched your favorite chair, the new cat doesn't like the old cat, dog hates your new boyfriend. You get the idea, folks. That's what we do here on The Pet Show. We help everyone resolve any issues that they may be having with their pets, or more likely, any issues that their pets may be having with them. Let me just toss out a reminder there. If you're new to The Pet Show or regular, it makes no difference because everyone, I mean everyone that calls into The Pet Show and actually gets to talk to me live on the air today will be getting an absolutely incredible gift for their beautiful dog or cat. And again, if you're new, we're not giving away biscuits. Many of the items I give away are worth $30, $40, even $50. So it's a great time to give me a call. If you have a question or comment about your pet, the phone number here at The Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA. That's 866-870-KRLA. If you're more of a numbers person, that's 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. And as I said, everyone that calls into the show and gets through to me live will get an absolutely fabulous gift for their dog or cat. Again, that number, 866-870-5752. Great stuff to give away on today's show as well. Let me tell you what's coming up on today's show. By now, you know I'm not going to get to all my topics. That's why if you go and you subscribe to my brand new YouTube channel, anything that I missed on the show will be posted on YouTube by the time I get off the show. And it's simply youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. By the way, if you want to watch the show, you can watch me do it live right now at youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Again, the number here at The Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Here are some of the topics I have planned for today's show, and hopefully we can get to some. You know, we love our cats. We really do love our cats, but there are things you should never do as a feline guardian. You know, I've been talking to you guys for well over 41 years, and very often I hear things from listeners that love and adore their cats, but they just don't realize some of the things they're doing are not really good. So coming up, and this is really critical, my list of things you should never, ever do with your cats. That coming up a little bit later. And I have to tell you, the holidays are creeping up. The holidays are almost here. So I wanted to share. This is important to me. I did a segment years ago on the Today's Show. I also did it on the Letterman Show where I talked about the concept, how your dog or cat can actually help you reduce your holiday anxiety and stress. We're all anxious. We're all crazy over the holidays. But your dog or cat may be the best thing you have to help reduce holiday stress. Again, the number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Now, you know you do. You know you do, so don't lie to me, folks. Do you talk baby talk to your cats, goo goo gaga? You know you do it. They know you're talking to them, but probably ignoring you on purpose. That's right. Your cat may be ignoring you on purpose. We'll talk about that. And this is one of my most important subjects of the day, and I want to hear from you guys. I hope you realize that when you call the show and ask a question or tell a story, thousands of people are listening, and some of the things you're talking about or we're talking about together can really make a difference. November, that's now, November is National Adopt a Senior Pet Month. National Adopt a Senior Pet Month. I would love to hear from my listeners out there who adopted a senior dog or a senior cat. I want to hear your stories, and here's why, and I'll send you a fabulous gift. The reason I want to hear from people that went out and adopted an older dog or older cat, because your story, your question, your comment to me may be exactly when someone else has to hear to make that decision to go out and adopt an older pet, whether it be a dog or a cat. The older dogs and cats always have the most difficult time of finding that forever home. But let me tell you, once you adopt a senior pet, they know it. And take it from me, as eccentric as I may be, they pay you back every single day for the rest of their life. So if you adopted or rescued a senior dog or cat, give me a call. I want to hear from you. As I said, I'll send you a great gift. But more important than the gift, more important than anything you're saying, is that by calling, you may be encouraging and saving the life of other senior dogs and cats at shelters all across Southern California. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Or as I say, if you want to see the face behind the mic, go to youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. As always, plenty of time for your questions and comments. As I said, lots of amazing stuff to give away. So if your pet is chewing, jumping, maybe your rescued feral cat is a little confused about the litter box, I'll help you out. Maybe your rescued dog or stray is not housebroken. Poor guy suffering with separation anxiety. Maybe they're even depressed. Your dog is chasing anything that moves. Your cat peed on your bed, and your dog literally believes that if he sees something, he must hump it. Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through to the Pet Show. And here's the question of the day. Do you believe your pets understand what you're saying? Do you believe your pets understand what you're saying? But I want to toss something else out here as well. And what I want to toss out here is pretty simple. I want to hear from those of you, and I know I'm stressing this, but I want to hear, because, I've spent so many years at shelters and rescues all across the United States, Canada, or other parts of the world as well. And the one thing that's always made me absolutely devastated was seeing older dogs and older cats at shelters or rescues that just don't get the chance to get that love and care at a home. My wife Denise was telling me last night, maybe I'll get the story a little bit later, about someone who took two older dogs. Someone had died. The wife had died, I believe. I'll get the story later. But the wife had died, and when the wife died, the husband took the dogs that she loved so much, older dogs, into a shelter. Don't people realize that when you live with a dog or you live with a cat, that part of you becomes part of that dog or part of that cat? He put his wife in a shelter. That's what I can say. Really, how could you do that? How can someone do that? Look themselves in the mirror. Unbelievable, unbelievable. So I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear from people that adopted or rescued a shelter dog or a dog from somebody, even a family member. Again, the reason I want to do this, it's Senior Adoption Month all across the country. But I know, believe me, I spent enough years and times in shelters that it's the older dogs, it's the older cats, the ones with little challenges that don't get homes. But take it from me, having adopted hundreds of these, they turn out to be some of the most amazing family members you'll ever have. So I want to hear from people that maybe adopted an older dog or an older cat. Give me a call. Or I'd love to talk to you guys. What do you think about this guy that brought his wife's dogs to a shelter? We'll talk about that later as well. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Let me tell you guys what I'm giving away on today's show before I start taking some calls. On today's show, I'll be giving away a lot of my Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplements, especially to people that call in with older dogs or older cats they rescue, because they can really get a use of it. I'll be giving away Hugs and Kisses. I'll be giving away Lucy pet food. I'll be giving away kitty lickies. Arthur Gold, amazing for those older dogs and cats' hips and joints. Copies of my best-selling books, Either Dog or Cat. Hemp seed oil from the people at Nature Vet. As I said, those T-shirts, and we can't keep those in stock. What great Christmas gifts they make. Those T-shirts that say, none of my friends walk upright. We have them now in 3 colors, and I think they're like $16, and shipping is free, so check those out at thepetshow.com. Hemp seed oil, and I just started giving away all natural herbal flea spray. So if you have a question or if you have a comment, want to share a great story about an older dog or cat you adopted, great time to call me. Again, the number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through to the Pet Show. Really excited to talk to you guys. So, by the way, as a veteran, I always talk about Veterans Day. Veterans Day comes out on a Friday. Next Friday is Veterans Day. Don't forget to take some time to remember those that served as well. Let me do this. Let me take a quick phone call here. Let's go to Amy in Huntington Beach. Hi, Amy. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Oh, hi, Warren. So I have 2 cats, and one cat likes to eat all the other cat's food, and the other cat is like a lady. She takes a couple of bites, and she's been sit and trim all this time, but then because the other cat eats all the food, I had to separate them. So
let me, I was gonna talk a little bit about that lady later, and the reason for that is a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll put down the cat's food and they just leave it, free feeding, and it's not the worst thing in the world you can do. But according to most cat nutritional experts, cats should be eating small meals several times throughout the day. It's healthier for them. So what you may want to try is, if you're home or if you have the time, I don't know how many times a day you feed them smaller amounts of meals more frequently. This way, maybe they'll get the idea that they should eat it while it's put down. That would be the best approach. You don't want to overly correct the other cat. He's not doing anything wrong, but you don't want him to become obese either. So what I would try to do is feed them smaller amounts more frequently throughout the day. See if that doesn't help you out as well.
Well, yeah, I feed them once in the morning and once in the evening because I work several hours a day, and that's
well, what I would do then, feed them once in the morning. I would feed them once when you get home from work, and maybe give them a third feeding, maybe at 8 or 9:30 at night. They use a litter box, so it's not a big deal. So that's what I would be doing at this point.
Okay, I'll try that.
It's going to make a big difference, believe me. And remember, it's healthy for the cats to do it that way. Really, it is.
The other thing, Warren, sorry to interrupt, is that
okay.
My one cat, she doesn't go up and down the stairs anymore. The other cat likes to go outside and catch mice or look at whatever, bugs and stuff. But the other one, she stayed upstairs the whole time, and now she's gotten really fat.
How old is she? How old is she?
She's 14 years old now.
Okay, so there may be some arthritis. You know what? Let me do this. I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to send you some Arthur Gold. Let's see if that doesn't make a difference. I've been talking about Arthur Gold for years, and the response from my listeners has been absolutely amazing. We'll get to you, Daniel. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I know I sound like a broken record, but take it from me, the tears in my eyes, the thoughts in my heart. Older dogs and older cats suffer so much when they're given up or at shelters. I want to hear from you and my amazing listeners. I know many of you have adopted an older dog or an older cat, whether it be from a shelter, a family member, or a stray on the street. Let me hear from you, because your conversation with me may be exactly what someone else needs to go out to a shelter today, save a dog's life, put a smile on their face, bring them into a home, and teach them what love is all about. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. A quick break, then I'll get to all of your phone calls. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. That phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Plenty of time for your calls. As I said, lots of amazing stuff to give away on today's show as well. And if you call with a senior dog or a senior cat and want to tell me their story, a very special gift will be on its way to you guys as well, because you know how much I love older dogs and older cats. You know, the opening of my cat book, this is what I wrote. To live with a cat, you must understand the concept of living with a being of much higher intelligence. Cats often spend the entire day finding ways to improve their living conditions. Once you are owned by a cat, you will learn to accept it. Coming up a little bit later, though, real important stuff. We're going to talk about things you should never do with your cat. You know, we think that cats have 9 lives. No, they don't have 9 lives. So we're going to talk about really important things in terms of what you should never do with your cat. A great time to give me a call. I'm hoping to get some calls from people that have adopted senior dogs or senior cats. The phone number, 866-870-5752, 870 KRLA. The question of the day is, do you believe you understand what your dogs are talking about or what your dogs are thinking? Give me a call. I'll send you a great gift. I still have hugs and kisses to give away, a Lucy pet food, kitty lickies, hemp seed oil t-shirt. So it's a great time to call me if you just want to answer the question or talk to me about a senior dog or cat that you rescued. I'd love to hear from you at this point, because it makes the difference. If anyone has ever adopted, I know I'm on a record here, if anyone's ever adopted a senior dog or a senior cat, within a matter of days or weeks, all of a sudden, one day, they look at you with those eyes and they realized how great life could be with someone like yourself. So if you've adopted an older dog or cat, I really want to hear from you for several reasons. Number one, I love you for doing it. Number two is your story is exactly what other people need to make that same decision. So just by giving me a call and talking to me, you may be saving several dog or cat's lives that never would have found a home, because my listeners will now, based on what you're talking about and the success with your older pets, go to a shelter and rescue an older dog or cat today as well. So it's a great time to call me. The phone number, 866-870-5752, 870 KRLA. That is the way to get through. I also like to hear from some people if they talk baby talk to their dogs and cats. Do you do Goo Goo Gaga to your dogs and cats? Give me a call. Let me know. Lots of questions I'm tossing out there today. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of pretty amazing stuff to give away. And again, the reason I can give away these items is many of my sponsors have been with me for 20, 25 years. And that's why I'm able to give away items that are $25, $35, and $40. So great time to call me. Come on, older dog and older cat rescues. I want to hear from you. 866-870-5752. Let's go to my friend Daniel in Oxnard. Hey, Daniel, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. My question for you is, okay, I've got 2 kittens. They're about 6 months old. And I got one couch where I don't care if they scratch it. I don't really care. Well, I got 2 new chairs in my closet, and I want to know, what can I do to prevent the cats from scratching those chairs?
Well, first of all, allowing them to scratch one piece of furniture is actually encouraging them to scratch on fabric. So that's not a great idea. I would prefer you don't have them scratch on anything. What I would do, number one, is make sure you have plenty of items for them to scratch. And I mean that seriously. If you go out and you buy a scratching post that costs you $90 or $100 to your cats, they didn't look at the price tag. It may be fun once in a while, but they need more in their life. So I'm going to encourage you to use the cardboard boxes you hear me talk about every week. They're free. Go to the supermarket. Be creative with them. Throw them out bring them in on Monday, throw them out on Tuesday, put new ones down. If you're constantly bringing new things into the home, that is in fact what the cats are going to focus on. That's number one. Number two, by the new chairs, what I would do, a couple of different things, is buy the area where the chairs are, at least temporarily. You might want to put some aluminum foil on the floor around where the chairs are. A lot of cats don't like aluminum foil when they walk on it. You can also try a little double stick tape. It's kind of like kitty fly paper. They're not thrilled about that either. Those are all things you can do. But the most important thing you need to remember is cats need to scratch for their sanity. So they're going to scratch. You can't teach a cat not to scratch, but you can't teach a cat what to scratch on. So what I'm going to recommend again is the cardboard boxes, the paper bags, organic catnip, other safe plants for cats all around the house, making those changes on a regular basis. Don't allow them to scratch on the other piece of furniture. Fabric to them is fabric. So let's do it the right way, and I think you'll be absolutely fine.
Okay, thank you so much.
Don't go anywhere, Daniel. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm actually going to send you a copy of how to get your cat to do what you want. You know, I did a whole thing on, and I'm going to talk about this later when I go over the things you should never do with your cat. People often ask me about declawing. What are my thoughts on declawing? And I think that declawing is atrocious. I think it should be against the law, which it is in many countries, many states, many cities. A lot of people assume declawing is clipping your cat's nails. No, it's an amputation. Should not be done. It's really detrimental to cats. So rather, and that's why a behaviorist is so important. This is what I do. Rather than physically remove your ability of a cat to do something naturally, so many people just decide that I'm just going to declaw my cat. No, 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 no. Never, ever declaw. Hey, the phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA. Looking to hear from people that have adopted older dogs and older cats. I want to hear from you guys as well. Your calls to me can make a real difference. And do you believe you understand what your dogs and cats are saying? I know everything Molly and Willie say. I speak their language. Why? And this may sound crazy to a lot of people. I'm going to bring Denise on the air one day. I probably spend 60% of my day on my butt. And I don't mean that because I'm lazy. I mean that because I'm talking and communicating with Molly and Willie. I don't have one pair of jeans that doesn't have holes in the knees. Why? Because I'm down on my knees talking to Molly and Willie. I think the more time you spend communicating with your pet, having conversations with them, talking to them, the more the bond that you have increases, and that relationship gets better and better and better. And I got to tell you, my relationship with Molly and Willie, what can I tell you? I'm in love. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take a quick break here, and then we'll get right back to your calls. Tanya, Janet, Ruth, we'll get right to you after this. You know, And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. 866-870-5752. The Houston Humane Society in Texas is launching a new partnership to help deliver free pet food straight to residents' doorsteps. They announced it will partner with DoorDash so that people can have pet food delivered right to their door. I think it's a great idea. The more opportunity people have, and especially people that may be confined to their homes, so hats off to Houston Humane Society. And DoorDash for doing that, I think it is a great idea. 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. That is the way to get through. Hey, by the way, you guys think your dogs know and your cats know daylight savings time? How does it affect your pets? Dogs generally are focused on the here and now. That's what we believe. But try not to feed your dog an hour earlier tomorrow morning. Do your dogs and cats react to daylight savings time? Give me a call. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. You remember, I just told you that. I'm going to get right to your phones, I promise. I just told you guys the story about the guy who gave his wife away. Well, here's the story. In Prescott, Arizona, a woman with two 6-year-old Havanese brothers, Havanese little Cuban dogs, was killed in an automobile accident. Again, a woman with two 6-year-old Havanese brothers was killed in an automobile accident. Her husband immediately took the dogs to the shelter. Fortunately, one of my listeners who had lost her dog 6 months ago adopted them both, sight unseen. She said they've adopted very well. Since they've been together, they've really adapted. So that's why I do the show. What are the chances? But one of my listeners heard the story, saw the story in Prescott, Arizona, went out and adopted, but first of all, adopted the two 6-year-old children. But my question is, what kind of man, husband, would do that? Part of those dogs' personality is the wife that he just lost in a car accident. My heart goes out to him. God bless him. I've been through that as well. But the bottom line is, to take two 6-year-old dogs and drop them off at a shelter, not the right thing to do. 866-870-5752. We are going to get to you in just a second, Janet. But right now, let me go to Tanya in La Cienega. Hey, Tanya. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I could not be better. How can I help you?
Well, you had asked if we adopt senior dogs to call or cats.
Absolutely.
And so I'm calling because that's what I've been doing probably for the past 15, 16 years.
Well, tell me about the most recent dogs you've adopted then, or cats.
The most recent was Molly. She was an 8-year-old.
Oh, I love you already. That's my dog's name, Molly. Come on now. We're close already. How can you lose? You're going to get the greatest gift anyway. You got a dog named Molly. Go ahead.
Oh, and she's awesome. She's a Great Dane. I'm sold on the breed. Love her, and they're the best. Seniors are the best. They're calm and excitable and athletic and just great dogs. And they actually like the Lucy's pet food. I was looking for food, and so I bought it, and she really liked it. So that's
most of the dogs I know do. So you adopted the Great Dane. She was how old you adopted her, Tanya?
She was 8.
So you already adopted, and you know, Great Dane, I don't want to say this, but Great Danes don't have the longest lifespan to begin with.
That's correct, yeah. She's 9 now. I've had her for a year, and, we'll keep her as long as we can.
And how did she adapt? When you first got her, was she different than she is now?
She's softer now. She knows she's home.
Yeah.
She sits on the couch. That took her a little bit of time. And now she's home. She loves going to daycare, which is where we're going right now, and she's just happy. That's my little Chihuahua that I adopted. He's 17.
Oh, God bless you. You're just absolutely amazing. So it's kind of interesting that you adopted the Great Dane. I'm a big Great Dane fan anyway. That you adopted the Great Dane, and I tell you, let me say, you adopted them, which was an absolutely amazing thing to do. And bless you for doing that. Accolades, accolades, accolades. But who do you think got more out of the adoption, you or the pets?
Oh, I do.
There you
Every
go.
single time I get these guys, it's me.
Well,
because they all come into your life for a reason, I think. And
you
so
said
I wanted a large dog, and she is a wonderful one.
And you said something
so they all come into your life.
You said something that was so important, Tanya, and maybe you don't even realize what you said. You said, finally, what's the Great Dane's name?
Molly.
Oh, that's right, Molly. How can I forget Molly? You said Molly finally realized that she has a home. And now you're going to make me cry. So many dogs, so many cats, once they realize that they found it, that they found the home, a home to play, someone that loves them, the home they're going to live in. What a difference it makes. What an incredible lady you are. Really, really are. Molly, and what's the Chihuahua's name?
Pee-wee. Pee-wee can't walk, so he barks when he wants to be picked up. And then I've got Humphrey, who's a terrier, who's probably about 15.
How many do you have?
And, well, legally I have 2, and I have 2 fosters. So I've got Nash, who I called a couple weeks ago. He's a St. Bernard that wasn't house trained. I had adopted him. And Pee-wee, who's about 16, Humphrey, who's about 15, and then Molly, who's 9 now.
Well, you're an absolutely amazing lady, Tanya. If you have access to a computer, I'd love you to send me some photos of the 3 of them, or 4 of them, or 6 of them, or 10, or whatever you have.
I will.
Yeah, just go to, you can send it directly to my website, thepetshow.com, or mail at warreneckstein.com, probably be a better way. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm going to move on, but I'm going to put you on hold, and because your dogs love Lucy Pet Food so much and you went out and bought it, I am going to send you some free Lucy Pet Food to keep those older rescue dogs happy and healthy for another 20 years. What a great call. I just love my listeners. You guys are absolutely amazing. People keep saying, Warren, when are you going to stop? You've been on the air for 41 years. Well, it's going to be another 41 years before you get rid of me. Hey, great time to give me a call. If you have a question or comment about your dog or cat, we'll get to all your calls. Lots of pretty amazing stuff to give away on this show. If you adopted an older dog or older cat, I'd love to hear from you guys. Or if you want to talk about how daylight savings time may affect your pets, I want to hear from you guys as well. Or do you think your dogs and cats ignore you when you're talking? Or do you think they really understand you but just don't want to respond? Phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5750. You guys absolutely, positively amaze me sometimes. Hey, quick break, then right back at you. You know, And we are back on the Pet Show. That's where the lion should be sleeping in the jungle. Hey, remind me to tell you the story. Not today, but in a couple of. I'm going to tell you the story about the time I was locked in a cage with 3 lion cubs and wound up at the emergency room afterwards. That's a whole different story. We'll talk about that a different time. Bottom line, if you have a question or a comment, or you want to share a story about an older dog or cat you adopted, great time to call me. 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. Let's go to my friend Janet. Then we got Ruth and Irene and Eda. I want to get to you, Eda, so don't go anywhere. Hey, Janet. Welcome to the Pet Show.
How are you, Warren?
I'm doing great. What's up?
My question is this. I have a brother and sister, 1.5-year-old, half Bichon, half Shih Tzu dogs. We've had them since they were 2 months old. Sweetest dogs. The only thing is that they had really destroyed our home. They've eaten our sofas, tables, walls, moldings, shoes, rugs, chairs, and it just continues. They slowed down a little bit on the chewing, but anything in sight they chew. And I've used sprays. I've tried some.
Here's the biggest mistake people make. What you're doing is you're trying to resolve a situation that's already developed into a habit by trying to correct the dogs. What you need to do is find out why these dogs are behaving this way. And the reason they're behaving this way, without a doubt, is a lack of exercise and mental stimulation right off the bat. Or it's probably part of you saying when they're doing something wrong, bad dog, stop it, what did you do? In reality, paying attention to a dog doing something wrong, in many cases, is actually a reinforcement for that. So what I would have done with these 2 dogs right from the beginning, have you done any training with them at all?
I did have a lady coming out, but she was training them more on just obedience.
He'll sit, stay. Yeah, he'll sit, stay. Which is real important. He'll sit, stay, down, come. That's all very important stuff to learn. But dogs generally don't wind up at a shelter because they're pulling. They wind up at a shelter because they're chewing or destroying a home. What I would be doing with your dogs right off the bat. How old are they now?
1.5.
So this has been going on for like over a year.
Dog. What's that?
This has been going on for over a year.
Basically, yes.
Okay, so the longer you smoke, the more difficult it is to quit. This is not a difficult problem to resolve. Number 1, if you start focusing on their positive behavior. Number 2, if you increase their exercise, will help with their mental stimulation. And number 3 is when they're doing something right, just give them a lot of praise. In other words, if they're just lying around, hanging out, good, 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 good. If you notice them chewing on something that they shouldn't be chewing on, the average person would say, I'll take it away and give the dog a toy of his own. Well, if the dog's chewing on your couch and you take the dog away and you give him a toy, you just said to the dog, if you want a toy, just go back and chew on my couch. Those are the type of mistakes that create the problem. You have a whole array of things you need to do. Number 1, exercise. Number 2, mental stimulation. The sprays are okay, but you need to really kind of focus on making sure they're getting more attention for being good than they're being bad. There's a lot to cover here. So what I'd like to do, Janet, is I'd like to send you a copy of How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. Don't tell me you have it, because if you have it, you didn't read it. I want to send you a copy of How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. I don't want you to get frustrated. They're 1.5 years. They're still very, very young dogs. This is an easy problem to resolve. It's just a matter that the entire family work on it the same way. And one of the things you're going to find about my book that's different is we do teach the basics, but it really focuses on building up the dog or cat's self-image, their self-confidence, number 1. And the more self-confidence a dog has, the less apt they are to get into situations that are negative, reacting to things that you want. So I'm going to put you on hold. A copy of How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want is on its way to you. And I mean that seriously, folks. So many people and so many dogs wind up, not hers, but of course so many dogs wind up at shelters because people just assume that nothing can be done. Lots of stuff can be done. The basic training is critical. But I've trained over 40,000 animals, and I got to tell you, the majority of homes I went to, and that's all the type of, well, not all, but I did most of my training in private homes on the East Coast and the West Coast. And the bottom line is, when you're training in someone's home, you can really work with the people and you can focus on the specific issues. Yeah, there's not a qualified, positive trainer in America that can't teach a dog to sit, stay, lie down, and come when called. Come on, that's what we do. But it's the other situations, the chewing, the jumping, the excessive barking, the housebreaking, the wildness in the car. Those are the issues that really have to be resolved. And that's what I focus here on the Pet Show and on my YouTube channel, the specific behavior issues. And before I got to take a break, we'll come back to you guys. But before I do that, let me just kind of urge you. If you are not following me on YouTube, you should become a subscriber, and here's why. Some real important news. Number one, there's amazing amount of videos there on specific issues and some fun videos there of old TV shows I might have done. But here's something we're going to be starting in a couple of weeks, and here's why you should subscribe. I never have enough time to answer all of your questions, and I can never really get into the detail that I want to get into as much as I want to. So starting in a couple of weeks, if you're a subscriber to my YouTube channel, I'll give you that info in a second, I will be answering video questions on YouTube. Obviously, I can't answer all the thousands of questions I get, but I will be answering questions on my YouTube channel. You'll be able to ask questions on my YouTube channel as well. That'll start in a couple of weeks, but right now, if you're not subscribing to it, here's how to do that. It's simply youtube.com/my name, Warren Eckstein, Eckstein. Subscribe to that, and you'll be enjoying it and seeing a lot of great stuff right now. There's hundreds of videos there, but if you subscribe, we'll be letting you know in a couple of weeks when you can start actually asking questions on YouTube, and I can respond to you in a video response on YouTube as well. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Great time to give me a call. I got hugs and kisses to give away, more Lucy pet food, my books, kitty lickies, a hemp seed oil, 866-870-5752. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the Pet Show. And we are back on the Pet Show. You know, I'm going to have to break for the top of the hour in a minute or so. So, Ruth, Irene, Etta, you'll be my first calls. Please hang in there. I got great calls. I want to get to you. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA. I still got Lucy Pet Food to give away. I haven't given away any T-shirts today or flea spray, a natural flea spray, Orthopedic Gold, Hugs and Kisses. So, great time to give me a call. The phone number is 866-870-KRLA. I wanted to share this story with you. An unruly and untrainable Labrador becomes a fire and rescue service search dog. Bally, a stray Labrador who was described as unruly, untrainable, unsociable, rude, and stubborn, has proven the haters wrong. The reason I brought this story up is over the years, so many of the dogs I've rescued, and people would say they're untrainable, they're horrible, they're aggressive, they don't do this, don't do that. They generally turn out to be the most incredible dogs I've ever worked with. Why? Once I realized what their motivation was, and I used that motivation to attract them to response, they turned out amazing. So many dogs that I have taken out of shelters turned out to be security dogs or dogs for people with challenges. As a matter of fact, every dog I've ever trained for a person with physical challenges came out of a shelter. So very often when you hear stories like untrainable, unruly, usually it's the person with 2 legs, not the pet with 4. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. 866-870-5752. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. If you love your dogs and cats and want to find out why they behave the way they do or resolve any issues they may be having with you or vice versa, chewing, jumping, barking, digging, you take your dog for a nice stroll on a beautiful evening in the valley, and all of a sudden your dog sees another dog, and all of a sudden your little Benji becomes Cujo. If you have questions about your dog or cat's behavior, great time to give me a call. If you happen to be new to the Pet Show, we've been around for 41 years answering your pet and animal questions. Everyone that calls in and gets to talk to me live will get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. If you're new, again, several of the gifts worth $35, $45, even $50. If you call in and I talk to you, one of those gifts will be on its way, not for you, but for your lovely dog or cat. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870 KRLA, 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752, and we'll be giving away Hugs and Kisses vitamin supplements, Lucy Pet Food, kitty lickies for your cats from Lucy Pet Food, my best-selling books, either dog or cat, natural flea spray, those air horns, T-shirts, lots of great stuff to give away. Plenty of time for your calls, 866-870 KRLA, the phone number. Also, I hope to get time to talk about today things you should never, ever do with your cat. And that's important. A lot of people make a lot of mistakes, and they're not even aware of the mistakes they're making. Like they overstimulate their cat, and they don't know it. I'm going to try to get to this, but if for some reason I don't get to it, it's already posted or will be posted as soon as I get off the air on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. You should subscribe. As I said, in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to start taking questions there as well and answering them in video format, which could give me a lot more time to go into a lot more detail, which is what I love to do with you guys. So the number here, 866-870-5752. The question of the day is, number one, do you believe that your pets understand you? But more important, I want to hear from people that have adopted or rescued older dogs and older cats. I want to hear your stories. And the reason I want to hear your stories about rescuing and adopting older pets is because every time one of those stories comes on the air, several other people go out and adopt older pets, and that's what we want to do. So give me a call if you adopted an older dog or cat. I'd love to hear from you. Send you a great gift, 866-870-KRLA. That is the phone number here at the Pet Show. All right, let me get back to the phone lines here. Let me go to Etta first. Then we got Ruth and Irene. Etta is calling from Chatsworth. Hey, Etta, welcome to the Pet Show.
It's Ida. How are you?
Ida. Hi, Ida. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. We spoke briefly last week on your other program, the subsequent one. About
that's right, on a national. I remember talking to you on a national program because I ran out of time on this one. Sure.
Thank you. So nothing has worked, and it's progressing and getting worse with Rex, the Beagle mix that I found in the box. He now just surrounds it's the maximum size crate I have with pee pads underneath and below and around it just to protect it. He goes around it, pees inside facing outwards, or normally the parameters.
Let me just stop you for a second. Tell me about the dog, number one. I don't want to know about the problems right now. I want to know about the dog. Where did the dog come from? What kind of life did the dog have before he got to you? Wait. And how long have you had him?
Thank you. So July 26th, I drove by a box at about 106-degree weather in the valley. Noticed the box where homeless people are. I left some cans of food. 3 hours later, drove by the same box and was intrigued as a rescuer. My parents are rescuers. They encouraged me to listen to your show for years. I thought it would be a dead cat or a litter of kittens. It was this baby dog, estimated 3 to 5 weeks old. Took him to vet that night. I didn't think he was going to live through. I think he was probably dehydrated.
Okay, so you rescued him. How long ago? I want to make sure I don't want to run time. How long ago did you rescue him?
July 26th.
So you rescued him in July, and you've had him, and he's how old now? I can't do the math in my head.
So it's 3.5 months, 4 months right now. He's approaching the age was guesstimated by 2 different vets, 3 to 5 weeks when I found him.
Okay, so what have you done? What have you done to resolve the issues?
I tried crate training. I have a massive crate. He just rips all the newspapers in the crate and cries. I don't have the heart for that. I learned from Joy last week I need to maybe be tougher, but I'm not knowing how to utilize the crate because he's ripping the shreds of the pee pads.
How are you home most of the day?
I'm sadly so unemployed, and that's why I might need to relinquish him because I can't leave him home.
Well, why would you do that? Why would you relinquish him? In other words, why not focus on how can I get him better?
I can't.
No, but how can I get him better?
Ida.
I know, but what I'm saying, listen to me. What I'm suggesting to you is you found the dog in a box. You've had the dog for 3.5 months or 3 months, whatever it is right now. In that short a period of time, a dog that was never kept around its other litter mates, never had the opportunity to socialize with the other litter mates, never had the opportunity to spend enough time with his mom. You've had him now for 3 months.
He followed my dog. Sorry. She's a mini pincher.
That's fine. That's fine. I want to resolve the issue for you. I'm not thrilled about the fact that you want to give the dog up. The dog's had 3 months, less than 3 months, with you. And you've done a lot of things wrong. Number one, giving him a large crate, not the way to go. Not the way to go at all. Who knows where he was kept? He might have been peeing in that box and pooping in that box, so maybe he's used to staying with his own mess. So a large crate, not the approach. I'd rather see you gate off a small area in the kitchen if you can. That's number one. Number two is take him out as much as you can at this point, and as soon as he goes, dance the whatever you got to dance to let him know how happy you are. I think what's happening is you're focusing on what he's doing wrong, and he's getting more attention for being bad than he's getting for being good. You need to do some good, solid, basic training with the dog so you have a good way to communicate with the dog. But at the same time, confinement for housebreaking is the way to go. But I'm not a big fan necessarily of using a crate all the time.
Him for that. Yeah.
No, I'm saying confining the dog is good, but a crate may not be the way for this dog, being that he was confined in a box.
Okay.
So it might be better off to gate off a small
barriers. I just don't have a way to put them up in my mobile home. That's the problem.
Okay, so here's what I'm gathering. And I love you for taking the dog, but here's what I'm gathering. Everything I'm suggesting to you, you're telling me you can't do. The bottom line is you're right. If you can't do it, you can't do it, but that doesn't mean it can't be done. And the longer you have this dog and don't focus on resolving the issues, the more difficult it's going to be for this dog to ultimately find the home where he's going to be loved and cared for the rest of his life. The longer the habit goes on, the longer the problems go on, the bigger the problem. I'm telling you how to resolve the problems. Number one, there's always a way to confine a dog. You can use the crate as a barrier. There's always a way to confine the dog. You're not the first person I ever spoke to that rescued a dog like this. What you need to do is really start focusing on the individual situations. Can't be chewing if he's confined. Won't be chewing if he's exercising. A 3-month-old dog or 3.5-month-old dog, if they get sufficient exercise, will spend a fair amount of time sleeping. You need to really focus on the positives. If for some reason it's too much for you, then it's too much for you. I can't change what you're doing. All I can tell you is from my heart, and I'm looking at it from the dog's point of view. I'm sorry I'm not looking at it from your point of view. I'm looking at it from the dog's point of view. This dog needs to find a home now, a permanent home. Not spend a few weeks with you, and then it's not working out for you, and he goes to another home. And when he goes to the other home, he's going to have the same problems because you never resolved them, and he's going to go to a third home. And ultimately, he reaches a year old, and you're going to see him at a shelter on the euthanasia list. That's the bottom line. And I know I'm sounding tough, but I hear this every day, and there's tears in my eyes by 7 o'clock every morning. I want you, if you want to focus on the dog, resolve the issues, follow the advice. I'm going to send you a copy of my book. I want you to follow the advice. If you must give up the dog, and I know you're the type of person that would find a great home for that dog, but again, remember that when the dog goes to another home, he's going to have the same problems he has now because they've never been resolved from one home to another home to another home, and that's when the dogs wind up at shelters. That's my thoughts.
Yep. I concur. Can I ask you one other question?
Sure, go ahead.
Of my mini pincher?
Sure, go ahead.
Please. He chews on her legs. I think he thinks it's her mom, clearly. He chews on her back legs like a chew toy. Her back legs, her front legs, she tries to move, and she doesn't snip at him, but it's been 4 months. Is there a way to make him, because I say down and he gets it, but then 3 minutes later he's wrangling her, my mini pincher. my most important.
Again. Listen. And I hope everyone's listening because it's like I'm giving a whole behavior class right here.
Right.
When the dog is chewing on the other dog's legs, and you tell the dog down, and he lies down but gets back up and chews on the dog's legs, you've accomplished absolutely nothing. You've accomplished nothing. What I would have done, have you done some basic training with the dog? When he's biting on the dog's legs, I would have taken him.
It's been 4 months of this.
I would have moved him away. I would have put his leash and his harness on. I would have given him a 10 or 15-minute lesson right there, establishing some positive authority. Then I would have let him go again. If he went back to biting, I would have put him back on a leash till he realizes biting on that dog's legs are not going to resolve any issues. It's not going to help you out. You're going to get some good, solid training afterwards. So it sounds to me like you're more focused on the negative things he's doing rather than focusing on what can I do to change that. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you a copy of how to get your dog to do what you want. I didn't mean to be tough on you, but let me tell you, there's not a day that goes by where I don't hear the stories about someone who said, well, I couldn't resolve this problem with my dog, and I ultimately had to give him up, and the other person took him, and the problem was resolved, and ultimately the dog wound up you know where. So I didn't mean to be tough on you, but once you bring, this is my rule, once I bring it into my home and it poops and pees and kisses me, it's there for life. There's no such thing as a dog that cannot be trained. They're not all going to be Rin Tin Tin, they're not all going to be Lassie, but every dog can be made livable. And what most people do, and Eddie, you were doing this, you focus on what the dog is doing negatively versus on why he's doing it. Once you figure out why a dog is behaving a certain way or a cat is behaving a certain way, that's what makes it much easier to resolve. Excuse me. But that's exactly the reason I wanted you guys to go to my YouTube channel. These are the type of things I can go into a lot more detail with you. So check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Subscribe. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break here. We'll get back to your phone calls. The phones are jam-packed. I got Ruth. I got Irene. I got Annette. I got Susie. I got Barbara. I'm going to get to all your calls, I promise. I got to get my stuff together here. What we're going to do is take a quick break. When we come back, we'll answer all of your calls. And again, it breaks my heart because, you know, I'm a pretty emotional guy. You guys know that. And Etta picked up this dog on the street in a box. I mean, I love her for it. But I have to look at it from the dog's perspective and say, if we don't resolve this pet's problem, this pet's really going to have problems in the future. Agree or disagree? I'd love to have you give me a call. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. And we are back on the Pet Show. The phones are jam-packed. I'm going to get to as many calls as I possibly can. My new Facebook page, by the way, it's facebook.com or facebook.me/Warren Pet Talk, facebook.me/Warren Pet Talk. I do share a lot of information there again, so check out facebook.me/Warren Pet Talk. All right, the phones are jamming. Let's go to Toronto, Canada, and my friend Ruth. Hey, Ruth, how you doing?
Oh, Dr. Eckstein, I'm so thrilled to talk to you. I love your show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. How can I help you today?
I just want to say something. I've rescued several cats. We live in the Great North here, right? And I used to have cats come on my back deck, and stray cats, right? And what I did was put out food for them, and then I gradually opened up the door. I had to hide my other cats, my indoor cats, inside, and I gradually pulled the food inside. And once they got deep enough into the kitchen, I slammed the door, and I captured them. But can I tell you, 4 of them that I caught, they're all stray cats over different years.
Sure.
They loved each other. They loved each other. If one went into the box, all 4 of them had to get into it. And I'm just saying, even
those are those mellow Canadian stray cats, right? The mellow Canadian stray cats.
By the way, today my temperature today is like 70 degrees. Can you believe it?
It's colder in LA than it is
Which
by
is
you.
incredible. But all I'm saying is that I just want to encourage people, if they're scared of bringing in stray cats or whatever, over time they all get to know each other. And I took in two rescue cats over the last 2 years. And, at first they were sort of like, la, 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 la. But you know what? They get to know each other.
That's what I was saying.
Older cats.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I just want to encourage people that these guys will eventually get along.
Absolutely. They do, as long as you do it right and as long as you spend the time socializing. What a great call, by the way. I love talking to you, Ruth, in beautiful Toronto, Canada, a place I've never, ever been. I've been to Canada a lot, but not Toronto. What a great call. And you're absolutely right. They ultimately do, if you use common sense, they ultimately do get along with each other. So that's a great call. Just another reason why people should, bring in these feral cats.
God bless you. Thank you very much.
Don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold just because you live in Canada. I mean, I'm not sending you something. I'm sending you some kitty lickies for all those rescued cats you have, and I appreciate that phone call. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. I'm going to go right down the list here. Let's go to Irene. Hey, Irene. I know you got a question for me or a comment.
Yes. Hi, Warren.
Hi.
Yes. Because of the election that's coming up, and we should all be aware on where the candidates stand on animal issues, especially, of course, regarding animal experiments. And I wanted to make a comment on it was an episode on the Jesse Waters show on Fox, and it was called Monkey Business Next Door. China buying land and doing biolab experiments on monkeys. And this is very, very dangerous. They're doing these, well, first it's torture and it's horrible and it's unnecessary. And then there was an incident with the monkeys escaped. And
yeah, but I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm anti-vivisection as well. But let me tell you, China's not the only people doing that. Have you ever heard of Plum Island?
What?
Plum Island?
I haven't heard of that island.
Plum Island is off the coast of Long Island, a place I know very, very well. It's a lot of experimentation going on there. Nobody's allowed on there, by the way, at all. I did a story once years ago because I reported. But you're right, is people should really, I got to move on. I'm going to donate your gift. But the bottom line is people should really understand if they're involved with animals. Obviously, you guys are. You're listening to my show. So the important thing is that you should know where they stand in terms of animals and animal abuse. I think that would be an important factor. And you know what? Most politicians politicians won't talk about that. But years ago, when I was living in New York, and I was doing the Today Show constantly, and Regis and Kathy Lee constantly, and the Letterman constantly, when there was elections in New York, many, including Mayor Koch, whose dog I trained, would call me and speak to me and say, Warren, how can I let people know? How can I let people know? Can you help me let people know that this is my thoughts on animals, positive, and this is what I think I can do to help? So it's a very, very important issue, and politicians are constantly contacting me, or more so years ago, but saying, Warren, what should we do? What can we do to let people know that our thoughts are very positive to helping animals out there? And watch what happens. There's some stuff going on here in LA too. Watch what happens with the politicians here. But I remember working with Mayor Koch many years ago. What an incredible guy he was. A little strange dude. I was working with him at I can't even think, Carl Schultz Park on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, right next to the mayor's mansion. Just an incredible. And I've also had the opportunity of working with a couple of presidents' dogs, a lot of congressmen's dogs, and a lot of other people's dogs, and cats as well. And I think the important thing is that I think that should be questions that they should answer. What is your feeling on animal experimentation? What is your feeling on spay and neuter? What are your feelings on this? What are your feelings on making the shelter system a lot better than it is right here in Southern California? What are your feelings? And if you're involved, if you're one of those people that cares about everything, including our animals, those are the questions you need to ask. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Do I want to do this? You know what? Let me go to Annette real fast. Hey, Annette, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you doing?
I am doing great. How about you? I'm sorry about the political speech, but I'm okay.
Thanks for taking my call. I have a question on when dogs wag their tails. I dog sit a lot. And I've had owners tell me, as long as he's wagging his tail, it's okay, but I think they have a different wag.
Well, you have to, listen, let me tell you something about wagging the tail. Which end do you trust? Do you trust the tail or you trust the mouth? Dogs will wag their tails for many different reasons, and it's really a good observer that can tell the difference. For example, a dog will wag their tail when they're happy. We all know what that looks like. The tail's going back and forth and back and forth. The dog will also wag his tail when he's nervous. The tail might be a little bit lower than it would be when he's happy. When they're anxious, they'll wag their tail. Maybe held up a little higher, wag it a little bit slower. When they're submissive, their tail will generally go down between their legs and go very slowly between their legs. When they're overly excited, again, the up tail. Also, when a dog feels threatened, the same thing. They will take their tail and tuck it a little bit very often, and the reason they do that, it's less of a thing that their opponent can go to. So there are many reasons that a dog will wag their tail. The majority of people, when they have a dog who's wagging their tail, the majority of my listeners, their dogs are wagging their tail because they're happy, they're fun, and they're listening to the pet show. But again, the thing to remember is it could be happy, it could be nervousness, anxiety, submission, excitement, or feeling threatened. Many, many different. That's why, as a pet guardian, it's so critical for everyone who's a good pet guardian, you guys are, is to watch your dog. Video, if you have to, watch your dog when they're happy, watch them when they're feeling good, and then you can differentiate what they're going through. But those are the reasons why dogs wag their tails. That help you out a bit?
That helps out. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Oh, don't go anywhere, Annette. So you do a lot of dog sitting and dog walking?
I do, yes.
Most of the dogs you take care of pretty well behaved?
Oh, yeah, they're all well behaved. Some are rescues, some are... they've had since puppies, but they're all wonderful dogs, and I love them all very much.
Well, there you go. Listen, don't go anywhere. I'm putting you on hold. I'm sending you a copy of how to get your dog to do what you want. Wag the dog's tail, or the dog wags your tail. Anyway, dogs wag tail from anywhere. I always heard, well, if the dog's wag, it's okay as long as the dog's wagging his tail. Well, if you see a dog with his tail above his butt and it's going back and forth very, very slowly, you might want to have a conversation. 866-870-KRLA, the phone. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got Susie in Glendale. She got a cat peeing in the house. We got Barbara. She rescued 2 senior dogs. I want to talk to her. We got Mark. Has an issue with his cat. Cat chewed up his hand and got kicked out of the apartment. We'll take a look at that. And we also got Ellen in Anaheim on how to teach her dog to walk on a leash. Again, the number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. A quick break, then right back to your phone calls. Listen. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. I know I'm pushing this YouTube thing, but I'm telling you why. You see, the phones are always jam-packed. I never get to all of the questions I possibly can, and sometimes I can't give you the long answer. So if you go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be showing you, it'll be there, how you can actually ask me questions on YouTube, and I can answer them live video. Not all of them, obviously, but a couple every week, or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever I do. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. By the way, when you go there, you're going to have a lot of fun seeing what's there already. It's simply youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. YouTube.com/Warren Eckstein. Check it out. You'll have a lot of fun. Phone number here, 866-870 KRLA. Let's go to Susie in Glendale first. Hey, Susie in Glendale. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
How are you today?
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. You know, I really need your help because I have a British short-haired pure breed that's 4-year-old male neutered that really is bothering us so much because the minute that I leave the bedroom doors open, he goes right on the bed and pees off my blanket.
Well, you told me the problem already. No, you told me the problem already. Here's the scenario. You said when you open your door, the cat runs in there and pees all over the bed, which tells me which tells me that the cat doesn't have access to the bedroom, correct?
Before he did. Before it was always open.
Okay, but now he doesn't. But the more you close the door, the more you lock him out of the bedroom, the more instinctively he feels the need to pee on the bed where you have your strongest scent. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so here's what you need to do. Number 1, clean all of your bedding. I want you to use a good enzymatic stain and odor remover. I want you to wash your bedding. I want you to clean off the mattress, whatever you need to do. That's really important. Once you've done that, what I want you to do is I want you to spend as much time on the bed with the cat. I want you to take several of his paper plates, put little paper plates with tidbits of his food in each corner of the bed or in the middle. I want you to leave an article of your clothing on the bed, even though your scent is already strong there. The more time the cat realizes he has access to the bed in the bedroom, the less apt he's going to want to go in there and be territorial by peeing on your bed. So if you want to put your head on a nice dry pillow, take my advice. Give him more time. Not right at the beginning, but if you're home with him, put his food on the bed, put his treats on the bed, put his toys on the bed, go in there, let him spend as much time when you're there with him on the bed as you possibly can. And then little by little, when you're home, you can start leaving the bedroom door open for a little while. If it goes back, then put food where he peed. If not, you have the problem resolved. I deal with this every day. It's one of the easiest things I can do. And again, the reason the cat pees on the bed, it's not because he wants to, it's because that's where the guardian's strongest scent is, and it's a territorial response. But if you follow my advice and let him in there more, you'll see it make a major difference for you. Glendale, can you hear me? Hey,
you know what? I wanted just to let you know because I just opened the door of my daughter's room right now, and she's not here. She's in UC San Diego. And you know what he did was he peed on that new blanket. And that was the thing that I'm crazy about is because she spends a lot of time with him.
Did she spend a lot of time with him on the bed?
Yeah, she does.
And whose house does whose house does the cat live in?
Our house. We have it's just.
Oh no! Do you live with your daughter?
Yeah.
Okay, then have your daughter do the same thing. Obviously, the cat.
Okay.
Does she close the bedroom door when she's not there?
Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, the only reason why we're closing it is because he's peeing before.
Exactly. So what you're doing is rather than resolving it, you're avoiding it. Because sooner or later, you're going to have to front it. You're going to confront it sooner or later. So I want you to follow the advice I just gave you. More time on your bed, more time on your daughter's bed, more time with toys and food and treats on the bed. Give him the more time he spends with you on the bed. And then what I want you to do is in the evening, I don't know if he's sleeping in bed with you. In the evening, let him start sleeping in bed with you. The more time he spends there, the less apt he's going to want to pee there. Easy problem to resolve.
Yeah, I was closing the doors in the evenings as well because I was worried that in the morning he would get up and he would just wake me up and he would just meow for food. So I just closed the door for privacy.
So you close the door for privacy, but he wants to get in and see mom, and mom's not letting him in. So when he comes in, he's going to say, you know what, I'm not allowed in here, so I need to claim my territory because this is a place I'm not supposed to be, so I'm going to pee right on her bed where her strongest scent is.
Right, I love that. And I'm not giving him any treats right now because the doctor ordered him special food because he was just had the urinary tract surgery.
Okay.
That was like a big surgery for him. So he said no treats, a special urinary food. That's the one that is like, for vets only. This is the one that I have. It's the W and U.
Yeah, it's made by Science Diet. Just so you know, it's made by Science Diet, which is owned by Colgate.
Right, exactly, and which is
owned by Colgate. The same people that make your soap. The same people that make your soap are making dog food. Actually, Science Diet is owned by Colgate Palmolive. Years ago, I helped them out a lot. Anyway. Follow my advice. I'm not going to send you any treats because obviously your cat can't have treats right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to have a lovely Suzette pick up, and I'm going to send you a copy of how to get your cat to do what you want. I love that call. And the reason I love that call, Susie, is because when people call me and I can figure out what they're doing wrong, it makes the resolution so much easier for me. The more you tell... let me say, the more my parents told me to stay out of their room when they weren't home, the minute they left the house, that was the first room I went into, okay? No different for our pets as well. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let me take a break. When we come back, we got, we got Barbara up there. We have Rich up there. We got Mark up there. We got Ellen up there. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. 866-870-5752. Quick break, then right back to your phone calls. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Again, I'm pushing this YouTube channel. I'll tell you, I'll be able to answer questions here in a lot more detail. Sometimes I feel sorry because I don't have enough time to go into the depth. So check it out. Subscribe. It's simply youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Let me get back to the phone lines here. Let's go to Barbara in Montebello. Hey, Barbara. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. How you doing today, Barbara?
Good. I'm doing good. I heard you say that the more people who call in and say they've rescued, the more people will go and rescue.
Yeah, are you one of those amazing people that rescued older dogs, Barbara?
Yes, I rescued 2 dogs in 2018, and one was 16 and the other one was 11, and I still have them. They're healthy, they're vibrant, and I love them.
Was there a time after you rescued them where all of a sudden in their eyes they realized that, wow, we've finally found our forever home?
Yes, yes. One of them kept trying to run away because I kind of think she had an owner who was a male, and I noticed she likes to go toward the men. And I figured, and she loved children, but at first I thought she didn't like children because she'd bark at them and chase them. It turns out she loved them.
Oh, God. So you adopted. How old did you say the first one was? 15, 14?
They said her kennel card said 16, but I think she was a little bit younger.
Yeah, 16. God bless you. You know, you're an amazing lady, Barbara. So many people would have just bypassed and said, you know, we want a puppy or maybe a year-old dog. But to adopt a dog, I mean, I've adopted dogs at 18 years old. And the most important thing for me is that when they cross the Rainbow Bridge, at least they crossed the bridge knowing that they were loved. That's critical to me. Not a great connection, Barbara. So let me do this. Let me put you on hold. I am going to send you some... I'm going to send you for your dog. You know what? I'm going to send you a jar of my Hugs and Kisses supplements that chondroitin and glucosamine be exactly what they need for those back legs on its way to you. Those are amazing people. Who would rescue a 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old dog? But you know, I've been doing this a long time. You guys know me better than I know myself very often. You've been watching me for years and talking to me for years. The thing that's most important to me, even if I have a dog, and I remember one dog I rescued, I only had him for 2 days. But in those 2 days, that dog knew love for the first time in his life. So when he crossed the Rainbow Bridge, he crossed the Rainbow Bridge knowing that someone loved him and he was cared for. And that's so important. God, I love people that adopt older players. Thank you for that, Barbara. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Let's go to Anaheim, and we're going to Ellen. Hi, Ellen. Welcome to the Pet Show.
How are you?
I am fine. How about you?
Fantastic. Okay, I have a dog, and its name is Watson, and I walk him every day, twice a day, for about 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
He's a Shih Tzu, so he's small, and he has short legs. So, but all he wants to do is stay on the grass and smell every blade of grass and pee all he wants to. And for me to get him off the grass, I have to pull.
Why would you want to get him off the grass?
I have to. I don't want to walk. I don't want to spend an hour walking next to neighbors' lawns.
Okay, a couple of things. First of all, when you what's your dog's name?
Watson.
When you take Watson out for a walk, I want you to remember this: it's Watson's. It's Watson's time. It's Watson's walk. It's not your walk. The dog's been in the house. You take him for 2 walks a day. I prefer more. He gets out there. For him, this is YouTube. For him, this is Twitter. For him, this is Google. Everything he needs to learn about his neighborhood with his nose and smelling all the different grasses and all the different places and all the different things like that are really important for the well-being of the dog. So I know we don't want to see our dog pee on a neighbor's lawn. Who does? I don't want to do that either. But that's where dogs pee. That's the bottom line. Dogs will pee, and and if they poop, obviously you have to clean it up. So I don't think your dog is doing anything wrong. I think you're actually actually, by pulling the dog away from that area, you're preventing the dog from enjoying, not yours, but his walk. Let him sniff. That's important for him. If he pees on the neighbor's lawn, I'm sure their dogs pee on yours. So I would not be pulling him constantly because you're going to create other problems with that. Let him pee where he wants to pee, as long as it's not where he's hurting anybody. It's not on someone's carpet. If he's peeing on someone's grass, that's why.
The neighbors don't like it.
I don't care. It's not my problem. It's not. In other words, you have a dog. You're walking your dog down the street. If your dog can't pee on the grass, where do you expect him to pee?
I want to walk him on the street.
A dog's not going to want to pee on the concrete. The dog's going to want to pee on the grass where the smells are. That's where his life is. He's going to pee on the grass where his smells are. I don't think you have a problem. I think you're creating a problem that's not there. The dog needs to walk on grass. If you don't want him to pee in the neighbors, put him in the car, take him to a park or a dog park or another place. But that's where the dog has to pee. He has to pee on grass. That's where, it's very rare. Occasionally they really have to go, but it's pretty rare that a dog's going to want to pee on concrete unless he's by a pole and he's lifting his leg because other dogs have marked that pole. I don't think you have a problem. I think you have a dog that just wants to pee, and if your neighbors don't like him peeing on their lawn, that's what dogs do. Maybe walk them on the strip of land between the street and that. But I can't resolve the issue because you don't have them. Putting you on hold and sending you for your dog, I am going to send you some, I'm going to send you what am I going to send you? I'm going to send you some Lucy pet food as well. Tough questions, Stan, but that's the way I feel. I got to answer the questions as if it was my own. And when I take my dogs for a walk, if they pee on someone's lawn, I mean, I'm not taking a dog up to their front door. It's on the lawn by the walk. What's the big deal? God, you should see what some of my neighbors' kids do to my lawn. 866-870 KRLA, the phone number. A quick break, then right back to your calls. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. It always happens. Mark, David, Rich, I'm going to be out of time for this show, but if you write this number down, I will take you as my first 3 callers on my national show. And that goes for anyone out there. If I didn't get to your call or able to answer your questions, I don't want to rush you. Write this number down. You can start calling at 1 o'clock. This is my national Canadian show. Same type of show, same type of gifts. So write this number down. Be patient. Let the phone ring and ring and ring. It's going to Washington, D.C., but you in California will have the first run at it because the show starts at 5 minutes after, and the rest of the country doesn't get the number till then. So you got the number now. I'm giving it to you. 877-725-8255. 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. That show starts at 1 o'clock. I'll be answering all of your pet and animal questions there as well. Again, I'm stressing that you start following me more on social media. I have much more time to answer your questions and help you out there. Again, you should be subscribing to my YouTube channel. I will be answering video questions there in the not too distant future, but subscribe now. It's youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. You can go to my Facebook, my new Facebook page. You know I got whatever happened on Facebook. It's simply facebook.com/Warren Pet Talk, facebook.com/Warren Pet Talk. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I do post there as well. It's Instagram @Warren Eckstein. Until next week, you all know what to do by now. Give all of your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, a special hug and a kiss right between the ears for me. I'm Warren Eckstein, and you've been listening to The Pet Show.